We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go, we're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go. Hi everybody, I'm Sophie, he's Mike, and she's Brenda, and welcome to On the Road with Mickey. If you're returning for another adventure with us, welcome back. We are so glad you have returned safely. And if this is your first episode with us and you're new here, welcome. It's so nice to meet you, and I'm going to show you the reins today. First up, we have our Cheddar from the Big Cheese, which is basically our Disney news snippets. And then after that, we have our feature topic, which is what we talk about for most of the episode. And then after that, we have our This Day in Disney History, brought to you by me. And after that is our game of Who's Who, and that is brought to you by Mike, my dad. Oh, fair warning, I'm almost never wrong when it comes to this game. I almost always win it. And then after that, Brenda will be giving us a quote from the big man himself, Walt Disney, and it's just going to be amazing. So buckle up, keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the car at all times. Make sure you're safe, fasten your seatbelts, all that good stuff. And we will see you on the road. It's time to get going. Let's go!
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie,
And she's Brenda.
Hi, everyone.
and he's Grogu, and we're on the road with Mickey. This is Season 2, Episode 25 for June 21st, 2021, and our feature topic is Disney Legends, and this is going to be a quarterly topic. We're going to talk about some really interesting Disney legends throughout. We're kind of sprinkle them in here and there. But before we get started, we always have our cheddar from the big cheese. But before we even get started on that, Brenda and I have something to do for Sophie because we are recording on Sophie's birthday.
Yay!
Grogu, give us a finger wave, okay? All right, here we go, Brenda. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to you.
Happy
birthday,
dear
Sophie.
Sophie. Happy birthday to you.
Aww,
Cha-cha-cha.
guys.
Doesn't
Miss
sound the same
Brenda.
when Sophie sings it.
Miss
I
Brenda,
know.
now what are you talking about? You are an excellent singer. Notice how I only complimented you and not Daddy.
Yeah,
I love you, Daddy. Thank
you
you.
too, honey. And by the way,
Happy birthday, Sophie. We love you
Well,
very much.
Thank you.
love you, honey. And for all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. We hope you had a great Father's Day.
Yes, happy Father's Day. We love the Disney fathers.
Yes.
Yep. We love all the fathers.
Yeah. All right. So now on to our cheddar from the big cheese.
Yep, and I guess I'm starting
Sophie
it off.
starts off. That's
All
right.
right. Coming July 7th, Monsters at Work. It takes place the day after Monsters, Inc. That is the story, what happens after Mike and Sully determine that laughter is 10 times better than screams for power. This is a new series that is coming to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And I'm actually very excited for it because as of this point, we have not seen anything that goes past Monsters, Inc. We haven't seen anything past what the original movie gave us.
Yeah. What happened the next day. And so the whole premise, Sophie, is all of a sudden, all these scarers have to become laughers. They have to get
Wow.
people to laugh. And that's the whole storyline for the show. And I think it's going to be awesome.
Wow.
I think it's going to be fun to watch.
I think it's going to be great too.
All right.
Yay! Yay! Well, we spoke and Disney listened. And you know it was just because of this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, it was all us. It was all us.
It was
They-
all us. We were
Yeah.
we were mildly and politely complaining about the fact that the new Ohana menu did not include the delicious, crazily delicious noodles. And Disney actually listened and they've changed their mind and the noodles are back on the menu.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Yay for
Now we
Brenda's
have a
family.
surprise to get back and woohoo! We're good to go.
And Disney also announced 5 new dates for the Boo Bash. The dates are September 5th, September 12th, September 19th, October 10th, and October 17th. And tickets for the new set of dates went on sale June 15th.
Mhm.
So
More
if
fun
you
to
are
be had.
added 5 more dates, still no dates right around the 50th, and don't hold your breath on seeing them either.
No,
No.
I wouldn't either.
Mm-mm.
They're going to be busy enough.
Yeah. Now, up next, this is very exciting news. This is something that we have been waiting for a long time, and it's not a rumor. It is confirmed. Disney has announced that fireworks will be back at the Disney parks starting July 1st at Walt Disney World and July 4th at Disneyland.
Yay! That is the best news ever.
Yeah,
I'm so
Yay!
excited!
Yes.
very excited. I can't wait. I can't wait. So we're all excited.
Yay!
And now, last bit of cheddar on a personal note. This is the 75th episode of On the Road with Mickey.
My goodness.
So Sophie and I would like to thank you all for joining us since day one. And a heartfelt thank you also goes out to Brenda for taking a leap and getting in on the action.
Yay! Thank you.
I have some other things. A special shout out goes to my client Diana, who emailed me and asked if I had ever thought of starting a podcast.
Ooh, go Diana.
And another shout out goes to Sheila and Jagan for their suggestions on how to improve the end product. And lastly, Sophie and I want to give it up for Mommy.
Yay, Cindy.
She
She's our
more
manager.
than she's more than the driving force. And she actually is the one who came up with cheddar from the big cheese, and she thought it was a joke, and it actually was the
Works.
perfect name
Perfect.
for our segment.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah. We love it.
She's the glue. So, Cindy, Sophie, and I love you, honey,
I do too, Cindy.
and so does Brenda. So, anyway, thank you everyone for listening in since January of 2020. It's amazing to me that we're up to 75 episodes.
I have to say, I really think that this podcast is what got us through 2020.
In a lot of
Okay,
ways.
right,
Yeah.
Sophie, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the hardest year ever.
Yeah. So anyway, that wraps up our cheddar from the big cheese. Don't forget to check the show notes for all the links. You can go to our Facebook page over at facebook.ontheroadwithmickey.com. Facebook group is facebookgroup.ontheroadwithmickey.com. We have a YouTube channel, Instagram channel, email address, voicemail. You know,
Paparazzi.
spam us.
We got it
Spam us,
all.
people.
Yeah. But don't spam us too much. We don't.
Yeah,
need
we do
that
get
stress,
sick of it after
please.
a while.
Give us enough to make us happy, but don't go overboard.
Yeah. So our featured topic this week, everyone, is Disney legends. And we're each going to take a legend and we're going to talk a little bit about what the Legends program is. And we're going to kind of just expand on our choice for who we have as our Disney legend to talk about. but the Disney Legend program, and I'm probably going to butcher it all, but the program was set up so that recognition could be given to special group of people who were instrumental in the in Disney history, in the way the company grew and the roles they performed for whatever different things, and so the Disney Legend program came into being in 1987, and the very first years um they were really instrumental in recognizing those that had a storied past with Disney, like our discussion of the Nine Old Men. All the Nine Old Men from when Brenda first joined us, they were all Disney legends, and they were all inducted in the same year, and so we're just kind of going through some of the big names that you've all heard about, and we're going to talk about them a little bit and just give you a little bit of background about why they might be Disney legends. So, and why they were selected to be a Disney legend. They don't always select every year. I think it's every 2 years, and some years they don't have any that get selected for the program, but some years they do. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing some of our favorites are some of our listeners' favorites too.
Mhm.
yeah, I think so too. All right.
Well, if it's no trouble to you guys, I'm gonna let you go first.
Who? Me?
Yes, you, Daddy.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you were talking to me or Brenda.
Maybe both. We'll decide.
Okay.
Both
Well, I will
Brenda
go
and
first.
I have had a little bit of a busy week.
I will go first. And I am going to talk about someone that surprised me. His name is Fred McMurray, and he was the original Disney legend. He was the very first Disney legend. He was inducted in 1987 in the film category, and he was the only Disney legend that year. So that kind of surprised me because Fred McMurray isn't a name that would have stood out to me as being the very first Disney legend. Fred McMurray, a lot of you, if you don't know his name, you might recognize some of the roles he played. He was Professor Ned Brainerd in The Absent-Minded Professor and Son of Flubber. Those are two Disney movies. Um, he was born August 30th, 1908 in Kankakee, Illinois, and he was raised in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. And the shout out to my client and friend Deb, who is from Beaver Dam.
All right.
So
Wow.
it's a small world after all.
Isn't
Start
it
singing it.
though?
It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. Okay, keep going.
Yay.
And the point about Fred McMurray that I absolutely found so important that I bolded it. Walt Disney personally cast Fred in the studio's first live action comedy known by the name The Shaggy Dog. Walt, could you imagine, Brenda?
No,
You're
I
an
can't
actor,
actually.
you're an actor, and Walt Disney says, Brenda, you're in my movie.
I know. Just
I
come
would,
on over.
oh
I
my
would have
God.
jumped so high you couldn't have even kept me on the
I
earth
would
for a while.
hire Mary Poppins there.
Here we go.
Yeah.
But that's another legend for down the road. But that just floors me. And what's really cool is that movie, The Shaggy Dog, was one of the biggest and most unexpected film successes in Disney history. And Fred
Wow.
McMurray went on to star in a total of 7 Disney feature films.
That's a lot.
Um, Fred
Lucky number
McMurray,
7.
yeah, lucky
Lucky number 7.
He played leading roles in more than 80 movies in his career.
Wow.
And for some of you that like old time TV, you might also recognize Fred McMurray as the father by the name of Steve Douglas in the TV show My Three Sons, which was on the air from 1960 to 1972. And lastly, Fred McMurray passed away in Los Angeles on November 5th, 1991. So he got to see and got to enjoy being a Disney legend for 4 years. So
Yeah,
I
that's nice.
just think it was really neat learning more about him and learning about how he was handpicked by Walt Disney, and I think a lot of that kind of maybe speaks to why he was the very first Disney legend for that year.
Yeah.
Started. I don't know. It's just neat though. So,
It
and,
is.
Very.
and everyone that's heard the show a while knows how much Brenda, Sophie, and I love talking about Disney history. So
Yeah.
this kind of
Yeah.
fits right in there.
Well, and he and Walt probably became great friends. I mean, they were near in age,
Yeah.
and they probably worked really close together, and Walt probably really enjoyed working with him. He seemed like a really nice man.
One
Yeah.
thing, one thing that I did learn was that um, he was starred in the movie that was the last live action movie that Walt Disney had any input on before he died. It was 19 let's see here. The Happiest Millionaire was the name of it, and he was in it with Greer Garson, and it proved to be the last live action movie supervised by Walt before his untimely death in December of 1966. And the last Disney film that Fred McMurray was in was Charlie and the Angel with Harry Morgan from,
Yeah.
I know Harry Morgan from MASH days, but
Yeah, MASH. Yeah.
just MASH, which was released in 1973. So, but yeah,
Wow.
just great stuff.
Yeah.
Just to me, it's just neat to think about the history of it all. So,
I agree totally.
all right. So, who's next? Are we flipping a coin?
I'll go next if you want me to.
Go
Okay.
right ahead.
All right. Well, the Disney legend that I am talking about is a man by the name of Ube Iworks, and he was made into a Disney legend in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm focusing a little bit on his early life because I found that with me, a lot of the early life experiences are very important to me, and I think that's because it's your origins that make you who you are.
Yeah.
And so focusing on his early life before he got to work with Walt Disney, that made him who he was to me, and it's actually a very tragic but a very compelling story. So Ube Iworks was born in Kansas City, Missouri. His father was Eert Ube Iworks, and he was born in a village of Utum in East Frisia, which is northwest Germany. And he immigrated to the United States in 1869, that is, Iworks Sr. And he worked as a barber. He was 57 when Ube was born,
Wow.
and had already
Wow.
fathered and abandoned several previous children and wives. He wasn't the best of fathers.
Oh my.
Yeah, and that same song and dance played and continued with Ube, unfortunately, as the boy and his mom were abandoned when Ube was a teenager. he actually dropped out of school to work and support his mother. And he never talked about his father. Obviously, he despised him. But it helped him in a way, I sensed, because it made him appreciate the work and appreciate being able to support someone that he loved, even when they were facing hardships.
Yeah.
And it certainly taught him how to be a better father than what his father was with his son, who is also a Disney legend, Don Iworks, and who I believe is the father of Leslie Iworks, who was a documentary maker that made a documentary film about Ube Iworks, her grandfather. And it just proves that he had a good family despite where he came from. And I think what he experienced helped shape that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
Because I think he had a very, very strong work ethic.
He
Oh,
did.
yeah.
He had a very strong work ethic, and he was very fond of forming relationships with people. And he actually spent, well, not actually, he obviously spent most of his career with Disney. The two met in 1919 while working for the Pessman Rubin Art Studio in Kansas City, and eventually started their own commercial art business together. They found work as illustrators for the Kansas City Slide newspaper company, and while working for the company, Disney decided to take up work in animation, and Iworks soon followed him. They clearly had a special bond if they were willing to follow each other through such extents. They were responsible for designing Mickey Mouse together. And although it's clear that Walt's wife was the one who actually gave Mickey Mouse his name, Mickey Mouse, instead of Mortimer, you can actually
Thank
see.
God.
Yes, thank God. Many of Ube Iworks' drawings of Mickey Mouse were the original ones, and
Mhm.
they're actually really good drawings. Ube Iworks was definitely the one who sort of evolved Mickey through his life, and he also designed Oswald the Lucky Rabbit for Disney. He
Yep.
designed that before Mickey Mouse, and it was actually really cool. However, he also served in the military, I think, at least during World War II, I think. I didn't actually find out which war he was a part of, but he took a 10-year break from Disney,
Mhm.
and during that time, there were some influences made, and I'm skipping around a bunch, and it turns out that Ube has actually left a huge mark on the world. Obviously, he's a Disney legend. His name is used for a reward, and I am just stuttering all over the place. I'm sorry. I got like 30 minutes to research all this.
You're
It's
doing
okay. You're
fantastic,
doing
Soph.
great, Sophie, so keep it up.
Yeah. So I'm skipping to his influences and tributes, and I'm just going to list off some of the things I found from the wiki page. The influences he left, he has an award named after him, the Ube Iworks Award for Technical Achievement, which is part of the Annie Awards. And there is a rare self-portrait of Iworks that was found in a garbage bin of all places at an animation studio in Burbank. The portrait is now saved, don't worry, and it's part of the animation archives in California, but it's a rare one. He was clearly not very fond of having his face drawn. And then, after the Second World War, this is one that I find to be very interesting just because it involves two Japanese manga artists that actually imitated Iworks' animation style. So despite the fact that they were on two opposing sides of the war, there is still an ability for peace between them because Iworks clearly still animated while the war was going on, and his style left an impression on his enemies, even though they didn't actually fight in the war, I think, but they are legendary manga artists, and his work is what inspired them, and they imitated that. And their names are Osamu Tezuka and Shotaro Ishinomori. And I'm not sure if anyone would really recognize those names, but I find them to be very special because I like manga and I like anime.
Okay.
And obviously, he was named a Disney legend. In 1996, there was a Simpsons episode, and the relationship between Bart Simpson and another character in the show was similar to Iworks' early relationship with Walt Disney, and it was used as the main plot. And then finally, this is the last one that I'm going to talk about, but it's very special to me because I actually used to watch this a lot, and it's from this history season. It's from this history series called Drunk History, where basically you get these people drunk, they're historians, you get them drunk and they talk about whatever they're going to talk about. And it's super funny, but also super cool because they know what they're talking about and they're making it funny because they're slurring their speech and everything. They're
Okay.
completely wasted.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Oy.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
hilarious indeed. And they even have these actors that are acting out what they're saying. So it's like, and yeah, so they talked about Iworks and Disney on this episode in the second season of Drunk History. And it actually talks about them and with stress on the creation of Mickey Mouse. And Iworks was portrayed in the episode by a guy named Tony Hale. Yeah, it was super funny.
Okay.
Oh
I'll
my
take your word
gosh.
for it, Sophie.
Yeah, it sounds hilarious.
It is hilarious. You're gonna have to go look it up. I'm
For
sure I can find
sure.
it on YouTube somewhere. Although chances are there might be a few cuss words, but they are bleeped out, so.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up our very interesting, colorful discussion of Ube Iworks.
Sorry, I was trying my best to
Oh my
count
God.
everything that I saw and that I liked, but I couldn't figure it out because I only had 30 minutes.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
honey. It's okay.
I
Oh my
just got
goodness.
off of work. I'm thirsty, I'm tired, and I only had a donut for dinner. Miss
Well, we
Brenda,
all love Ube Iworks. He was a great choice.
he was a great
He was a
choice, and
great
I did him
choice.
so much injustice. Miss Brenda, take over before I start complaining about myself.
Brenda,
Well,
take it away.
yeah. Yeah, when Mike last week said he was thinking about doing this topic, that it was a good topic, immediately this person came to my mind because I love this person. And we have some things in common. Not exactly, but kind of roundabout things in common.
You're
So
practically perfect, aren't you?
that's right. Yeah, not no. But my person
Yeah,
is, in
yeah.
fact, Julia Elizabeth Andrews, Dame Julie Andrews. She came to my mind immediately. Julie Andrews was born on October 1st, 1935, which is exactly 5 days after my mom. So
Oh,
she will be
wow.
86 this year, 5 days after my mom will be 86.
Nice.
And she just happened to star in one of the best movies ever the year I was born in 1964. So,
Wow.
gonna
What movie
jump
is
to
that?
Mary Poppins. Do you see my background?
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we're good. Okay, so you have to picture this. She starts like performing when she's 10, right? She's 10
Okay.
years old. She goes to star on stage. She plays Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady, not in the movie, of course, on the stage. And then she's cast as Queen Guinevere with Richard Burton in Camelot on Broadway.
Oh,
She's
wow.
in her mid-20s. She's in her mid-20s. She's on the stage doing Camelot. Some people there tell her that Walt Disney is in the audience. Of course, she knows who Walt Disney is. He's, in the audience, so that's thrilling. And then after the show, they tell her that he wants to come backstage. So she's like, oh, okay, well, he's going to come backstage and, maybe see the set and things like that. That's great. Well, he finds her and he tells her about this little musical he's putting together, that he would like her to come to Burbank and see the set and hear the songs and things for this movie. And she says, Mr. Disney, I would love to, but I'm sorry, I'm pregnant. And he says, we'll wait.
Wow.
We'll wait. Are you dying yet? Because I'm dying over here. I'm thinking, oh my God, this unknown woman is talking to Walt Disney backstage, and he's saying that he wants her so badly in this role that he will wait until her daughter's born. And she, has her time with her before she goes there. And oh my gosh, then she introduces him to her husband, Tony. And her husband is Tony Walton at the time. They ended up getting divorced later, but Tony Walton is her husband at the time. He has just started a business of doing set designs and costumes. So he tells her he'll wait for her. She introduces her husband. He says, what do you do, Tony? Oh, I just started my business of making sets and costumes. And he goes, great. I got a job for you too. So he opens and just unimaginable doors for this guy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Wow.
is that crazy? So that's crazy. So
That's
anyway,
awesome.
she stars
That's
in Mary
Walt.
Poppins. I know.
That's
Isn't
Walt.
he wonderful? He's just such a wonderful man. So she stars in Mary Poppins in 1964, and then in 1965 she gets the Best Actress Award, and she is the only actress to get the Best Actress Award for a Disney film until this year, when Frances McDermott just got that Best Actress Award for Nomadland, which I haven't seen. I don't know if you've seen it.
We
I
But
haven't.
all these years until this year, she has been the only person to get a Best Actress Award for a production with Disney.
Wow.
All these years. So she does Mary Poppins, and then she goes and does this little film that I watch about 10 times a year called The Sound of Music.
You got it. Woo, woo, woo.
I mean,
The hills are alive.
don't get
Whoa.
me started.
What on earth did I just... Did I sound like her to you?
Yes. That
You
is
heard nothing.
absolutely one of my all-time favorite movies. Oh my gosh.
Wonderful, so wonderful. And she wouldn't have gotten chosen for that role had Walt not discovered her. I mean,
Yeah.
I think she could have. She could have if that was written in the stars or whatever, but I don't know. I just think. Anyway,
It was written in the stars that Walt discovered her. Walt
for
is
sure.
awesome.
For sure. So other movies she has starred in are The Princess Diaries, which I love, and The Princess Diaries: The Royal Engagement, which those are wonderful.
Mm.
So there's a couple of other things about her. Let's see what I have here. So she was the official ambassador for Disneyland's 50th anniversary in 2005 and 2006. She needs to be on the stage for the 50th at Walt Disney World. Remember when we discussed that? Yeah. Have they called her?
Yeah.
Probably. God, I swear they don't listen to me. So
No, they
here's
don't.
They did with the noodles, though.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. They're
That's
probably like,
funny.
this is a one-time thing. We can tell she's really mad.
Yeah, I'm sure. So here's something you may not have known. Her portrayal of Maria von Trapp in The Sound of Music was actually the inspiration for Belle. Did you know that?
I had no
Really?
idea.
Not a clue.
Yeah,
Oh, but it fits perfectly now.
yeah. The inspiration for Belle. That's right. She also guest starred in The Muppet Show. I think she guest starred several times.
Mhm.
on the
Really?
Muppets. Yep. And she has her own podcast called Julie's Library, and she reads books to children. She's
That's
just
cool.
such a
Okay.
wonderful human being. I just love her so much. You know, the thing that I really love about her, though, is like audiences love her. People love her. Like, she hasn't had, these kiss and tell autobiographies come out, and she hasn't had like scandalous drug rehab things. She just is, people just love her. She's just like a normal,
Yeah.
Person.
wonderful person, personable person. She has a great work ethic. She's known for being self-disciplined. And
Mhm.
I just love that, like with Kristen, who's my 20 something daughter growing up seeing the Princess Diaries movies, that my 20 something daughter loves her just as much as her 50 something mom. She just reaches so many generations. She's
Yeah.
just
Mm.
such a special, classy lady. I just love her. I think she's practically perfect in every way.
You know, if it was
Yeah.
on the internet and in the movies, it must be true.
It's gotta be true. It's gotta be.
Awesome. Good job, Brenda.
She is such a special lady.
Do you remember when she was put into the program?
1991.
1991. Okay.
Yep,
Cool.
Disney Legend 1991. She is spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that this was a great start to talking about Disney Legends down the road. And I
Yay.
think we'll pick up some more down the road every now and again. No set schedule for it, maybe every quarter or something like that. So stay tuned, everyone, and tell me of the three, tell me why Fred McMurray was absolutely the best choice. And everyone was like, sorry, Mike, you had number 3 out of that list. But he was the original. Anyway, I'm just being
Yeah,
silly.
I totally agree with you, Mike. He was a
Yeah.
great choice. He was the
He
first
was a
one. I
great
mean,
choice.
yeah, yeah. He may have been part of the idea they decided to come up with it in the first place. I mean, something
Yeah.
started the idea, and he
Yeah.
was the only one. So something's up there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
interesting. But
Hmm.
anyway, so that wraps up our feature topic for this week. And that takes us to Sophie's This Day in Disney History.
Yep. And today I'm focusing on a bunch of movies. I'm just gonna speed run them right quick. And it's gonna be quick, but it's gonna be very special to me because I like movies, as anyone knows. And this is a list of all the films that were released or premiered today.
Wow.
Most were released to theaters, some were premiering in special events, some were being released to DVD and stuff like that, but they
Okay.
were all today. And it goes in this order. Starting with 1961, we have The Parent Trap.
Nice.
1988, Who Framed Roger Rabbit premieres. 1996, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, one of my absolute favorite animated movies, is released to DVD. Lilo and Stitch, also released to theaters. Wall-E premieres. Lilo and Stitch is 2002, mind you. Wall-E 2008. Monsters University, released to theaters 2013. And finally, Toy Story 4, 2019.
Very good
Wow.
list.
Yeah.
You're right, Sophie. That is insane. The number of movies released on June 21st over the
Yeah.
years.
What can I
And,
say?
you
They
know,
really enjoy using my birth month to release their movies.
they
And
sure do.
Inside Out is also released on my birthday,
On June 19th.
Awesome.
June
Yeah.
19th. 2 days ago, according to the Disney history, but it's today, so we're recording this on my birthday. So happy birthday, Inside Out.
That's
There you
right.
go.
What year was that? Do you remember?
I believe that was 2016.
And the lead character in Inside Out is Riley. And Riley is one of Sophie's best friends. Hey, Riley, you listening? Say hi.
No, last I checked, she said she was in Hawaii.
I don't know. But
She
anyway,
said she was in Hawaii, so when are you taking me?
I don't know, honey. Talk to Aunt Leanne and say, Aunt Leanne, I want to ride along.
Yeah, stuff me in a suitcase.
Anyway, back on schedule here.
Yeah.
It is now time for Stump the Soph.
Make it
Uh-oh.
especially hard because it's my birthday.
Okay.
Stump the Soph.
I will tell you, this character is
Uh-oh.
not one that we talk about a whole lot. So that might be.
Fred
But you-
McMurray.
is- You know what? Do I need to mute you? How'd you guess?
Oh no! No! All right, go on.
Okay, I have some clues. This character is young at heart. Don't
Young at
guess
heart.
any until I give them all. This character has a laid back attitude,
All right.
and I will say this character loves the ocean.
Dude crush.
High five, Sophie.
Very
High
good. Yes,
awesome.
that was
Way to-
fantastic.
Way to go.
Fantastic.
It was the
I'm
young
gonna
at heart.
Half credit though, because officially his name is not Dude Crush, it's just Crush. See?
It's just Crush. But she
Oh.
was calling you dude.
Yeah,
She was
crush.
calling you
Like
dude. She
I'm
was saying
going
Crush.
to do to your kneecaps with my feet because I'm short and angry.
Wow. How did you know, Sophie?
That was great.
It was the young at heart part. At first I was gonna say Nemo, and then I was like, wait, he's actually young.
Young.
Hold up. Dude Crush is like 150 years old.
150 years old.
That's right. That's
Yep.
great. Dude. That was great, Sophie.
Good job. Brenda, do
Yay.
you have any idea?
No, before I could even have time to sit and think for a second, she was gone.
Okay. More Finding Nemo trivia. Sophie, what's the name of Marlin's wife?
Coral.
Okay. That was easy. Where did Nemo make a cameo?
Monsters Inc. in Boo's bedroom.
Okay. What does Nemo in Latin translate to?
Nobody.
No one.
Oh my God, she got nobody and you're gonna her?
Was Dory supposed to be a male or a female character?
Pretty sure she was always meant to be female.
She was supposed to be a male character, but the writer of the movie was inspired when watching the Ellen DeGeneres show and wrote the
Oh.
character specifically to be played by Ellen.
Oh, wow.
And she knocked that one out of the park.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, great job, Sophie.
Very,
you.
very good.
Job. I'm impressed.
Me
and
too.
When I'm pulling them up, I'm like, gosh, this is so easy. This is so easy. But that one wasn't that easy.
And that one was the one that I got after how many wrong attempts?
I don't know,
One.
but- yeah.
Oh, thank you, Miss Brenda. I didn't realize you were keeping score.
Anyway,
One.
Dude Crush from Finding Nemo.
Awesome.
Underline the dude part because that is his name, Dude Crush.
Not according to the book. Just
The
saying.
book is wrong.
Okay. print, but it's wrong.
I should know. I bought you that book.
Yes, you did. Anyway, we're going to move on from our little dispute about dude or crush or dude crush, and we're going to let Brenda take it away with her wonderful, inspiring, incredible Walt Disney quote. Time to get back on track.
Yay! Courage is the main quality of leadership, in my opinion, no matter where it is exercised. Usually it implies some risk, especially in new undertakings. Courage to initiate something and to keep it going, pioneering an adventurous spirit to blaze new ways, often in our land of opportunity.
Nice.
Walt Disney.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I agree entirely, because it does take courage, does involve some risk, because you don't know what the result might be, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So
You have to go for it. You gotta just go for it.
yeah.
You know? Pursue it with everything you got. If we
Yeah.
stop doing that, what will the world be?
Just blah. Wouldn't be
just
as good as it can be.
Yeah. Yeah, these people inventing these new ideas and concepts, and they're just amazing.
Yeah. All right, everybody. That wraps us up for this week. And I want to give a big shout out and thanks to my co-hosts, Brenda and Sophie.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And thank you, Grogu. You know, you're part of the team.
That's right.
And all of us will see you next week. And we will
See you
See you
on
on
the
the
road.
On the road.
bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.